fellow Yodungis and Ateez stans. I wanted to come on here today to discuss a serious issue regarding the recent Esquire Korea solo photo shoot of Yeosang from Ateez. Firstly, I know we Yodungis are so friggin' excited because this is Yeosang's first solo photo shoot apart from his group, and we have all been waiting for this moment, okay? This man works so incredibly hard and is one of the greatest performers of all of K-popdom, as far as I'm concerned, okay? I mean, look at this man. Oh my god. He is just so fine in these pictures. I mean, So when I heard a few weeks ago that this photo shoot was coming up, I was so pumped to see these photos. I could absolutely not wait. And so a week ago when they dropped, I am so excited, like flipping through these photos, just admiring and basking in the beauty that is this man. And then I am confronted with two pictures of a real life Doberman. Now, if you don't know like the Yosang Lore, I'll explain it really quickly. So ever since his debut, like way back way, he always wanted his fans to refer to him as a Doberman because those types of dogs tend to seem like more imposing and like very macho kind of dog, you know what I mean? But if you have even seen an iota of Yeosang content, you quickly realize that this man is not scary at all. He is like, in fact, the opposite of that. He is such a sweetheart, just like so sweet and so kind. And so we as fans always like tease him that, no, you're not a Doberman, you're a Maltese, like a really cute, really adorable dog, right? And like I said, I've been aware of this lore for a very long time. And over the years, Yeosang will kind of just like mention that he wants to be referred to as a Doberman, or will even like wear fan art with like illustrations of Doberman on them. So up until now, it has been like very theoretical and hypothetical, you know what I mean? And so the reason I'm bringing this issue up now is that this is the first time, as far as I'm aware, that a real Doberman has been involved in like any Ateez or Yeosang production of any kind. And it's really just pushed me over the edge because if you don't know, a Doberman doesn't look like this. They don't naturally have pointy ears and a short tail. They actually look like this. So just like a really quick history lesson, back in the day, like forever ago, thousands of years ago, people used to cut off the ears and tails of dogs, and this was known as ear cropping and tail docking. To be fair, they literally did this because they thought it had some benefit to the animal. Like they thought it would cut down on like diseases and infections and even improve the hearing of the animal. So like something beneficial to the animal, right? Now fast forward to current time. All of these like seemingly positive attributes of these practices have been fully debunked. Like no credible veterinarian would ever sign off on these practices being in any way beneficial to the animal. And they have been deemed so cruel that back in the 90s, the EU made the practices illegal altogether in dogs, okay? Now I am in the US and here it is still legal. And weirdly, the organization that states these practices should continue says they should continue because of breed standards, like it ensures breed standards, which doesn't make a ton of sense because this breed doesn't have pointy ears and short tails. Like they're not born that way. Like that's not the breed, right? So the math ain't mathin' on that one, you know what I mean? So in a nutshell, the reason that these practices continue is because some people think the dog should look different so badly that they are willing to mutilate them. I think we can all agree that as a kind and caring community, we should not be chopping off body parts from animals all in the name of aesthetics. Like if people started removing like a leg from a dog or like removing an eye from a dog all because like it looks cool though, we'd all have a pretty big problem with that, right? I'm positive we would. We as kind, compassionate people can all agree on that. So back to this photo shoot in particular, I do want to note a few things first. One, Yeosang Yeosang did not set up this photo shoot. Like, he's not the creative director, obviously. So the concept did not start with him. 2, he wasn't even on set the day the dog was taking their photos. Like, they were photographed separately and then edited together in the final photos. And Yeosang even said that he was kind of disappointed that he didn't get to meet the dog because he wanted to like play with the dog and pet the dog, which is like so incredibly adorable and sweet. Of course, it's Yeosang. Like, that's the most Yeosang coded thing I've ever seen in my entire life, right? And 3, Yeosang has had Dobermans as like part of his lore for a very long time again. And so certain like issues like this might not just be at like the top of his mind or like actively in the front of his mind, you know what I mean? Life moves fast, especially when you're a celebrity, I can imagine, and I do understand that. I also want to be sensitive to cultural differences. I'm not East Asian, obviously, and I haven't even been to East Asia, so I'm not really sure what the animal welfare practices are in that part of the world, or if like certain types of animals have more meaning than like in this part of the world. But as far as I can tell, large dog breeds aren't common at all. So I don't really think anyone in that part of the world is like really pushing for these practices to like continue. Also, there is a chance that Yeosang didn't even know about these practices, right? Like, I do want to make room for those kinds of explanations. So overall, I don't think Yeosang is out here trying to like actively promote animal cruelty. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it never even like crossed his mind at all. But regardless of intentions, any action has real world consequences. We are also connected these days, especially because of social media. We all know that the platforms of any kind of celebrity do have the ability to create change, good or bad. We have seen again and again people be so influenced that the second they see a celebrity do something or buy something, they immediately go out and buy it, do it, copy it, all the things, right? Especially those of idols, where they tend to have a more devoted fan base. So Yeosang, as a member of one of the most popular K-pop groups and like boy bands on this earth right now, period, has a very large platform and so has the ability to influence people. Again, I know he did not set up this photo shoot, but he did mention that he was aware of the concepts a few days prior to the photo shoot. And I know there's like a lot of contracts and agreements and like talks going on in the background that Yeosang is not involved in at all. But I have a difficult time believing that if Yeosang really didn't want this Doberman to be included in the final photos, he could have easily said something to someone that could have quickly made that happen. Because let's be real, okay? This man need not any kind of co-star, anything else in the photo shoot at all. I mean, honestly, this man could wake up, pop up in bed, take a picture, and I drool over that picture, okay? I want to reiterate, I am a huge fan of this man. But the facts are, he did subtly agree to these practices by agreeing to have a mutilated animal included in the final photos. And because he has such like a large platform, small affirmations like that can lead to real world behaviors. Perpetuating that these dogs are somehow more valuable because we have removed body parts from them keeps these practices going. I was so excited to see these photos. Honestly, I'm still very excited for Yeosang. We have all been waiting for this moment for such a long time, and it is something to be celebrated. He has worked so incredibly hard to get to this point, and he has also maintained such a kind and respectful attitude throughout his entire career. I mean, that alone should be celebrated. It just sucks that now there is this stain on such a bright event. And on top of that, it was completely preventable. Because especially the photo where the dog is in the same frame as Yeosang, I really really just want to marvel at this incredibly attractive, sexy, ethereal man. I just want to fully sit back and take it all in. But my eyes are immediately drawn to this dog's ears. And it's just so jarring to be confronted with such blatant abuse. It's just like such an in-your-face reminder that this dog, this real animal, has had to endure such pain and suffering to have those ears. I mean, it's surgery we're talking about here. And I think we can all agree that recovering from any kind of surgery is not like a great time, and it's not a comfortable time. And furthermore, this dog had to do it twice because he also had to have the majority of his tail removed. And of course, the dog can't consent to those surgeries, and to have this done all in the name of like vibes is disgusting behavior. I'm also not saying that like one choice should fully negate an entire lifetime of behavior. Yeosang, again, has proven time and time again to be such a caring and kind person, and I still do truly believe that he is a caring and kind person, and I will continue to be his fan and to support him. It just sucks that I can't like wholeheartedly support him this time specifically. And I do think any good person should have at least a small reservation as well. Now, full transparency, I will be going to an Ateez concert this summer, and I'm honestly still so incredibly pumped. I never go to concerts, I never spend money on entertainment, so I am so incredibly excited, and I really cannot wait. I'm just like a little less excited than I was prior to seeing the photos. So let's go over some action items, because I really do believe if you are going to recognize and speak out on an issue, you should contribute some way to prevent it in the future to the best of your ability. All of Ateez, including Yeosang, are such great idols because they are so devoted to fan service. And if we as a community want our idols to change their behavior, we can request that, and that very well may happen. Like, they care about what we care about them, you know? So one, Yeosang, acknowledge that dog should not have been included in those photos, like in any capacity, and don't include any kind of animal who is very clearly a victim of unnecessary animal abuse in your videos, photos, or like any content going forward. And I really do think all of that is pretty easy to do. Two, ATNs. If you are going to share these photos anywhere online, just crop out the Doberman or just exclude those two photos altogether. And that's also pretty easy to do. And three, either us Yodungis need to come together as a community and agree on a different dog breed that is just as imposing and just as chic as a cropped and docked Doberman, and then request that Yeosang refer to himself as that going forward. Or I do think Yeosang can still refer to himself as a Doberman. But we Yodungis need to transition to seeing that as a natural Doberman. Because I don't know about you, if any dog as big as a Doberman started growling at me, barking at me, like baring its teeth to me, I'd start to feel some kind of way about that pretty quickly. Like, that is still a very terrifying situation to be in. It's just we as his fandom need to only include like pictures and illustrations of natural Dobermans in like our fan art, or if you create merchandise, or in like even fan edits and stuff like that moving forward. And again, I think that's pretty easy to do. My entire goal with creating this video was not to just crap all over a guy who is taking a well-deserved moment in the spotlight. It really isn't. I just wanted to start a discussion and hopefully create some positive impact in this world. The world is getting a bit darker these days, but our voices matter. They absolutely can have great impact. And if you take nothing else from this video, please know that we just need to start the conversation.